For the first time in American history, millions of seniors are going back to work. They thought they were done. They thought they had earned their rest. But under President Donald Trump, everything costs more. And now even retirement has a price tag. In just 2 years, the basics have become luxuries. Groceries are up 25%, electricity up 40%, rent up 35%, and prescription drugs up 51%. Their pensions are shrinking, their savings drained, their fixed incomes worth half of what they used to be. So they're back on their feet, behind grocery counters, driving city buses, mopping empty offices after midnight. These are the people who built America, who fought its wars, raised its families, and paid its taxes. And now they're fighting just to survive in the country they once built. They were told that hard work would earn them peace, that America would protect them when the work was done. But the promise has broken. Today, millions of seniors are working into their 70s, not for comfort, but for survival, because the cost of living keeps climbing while the value of a lifetime keeps falling. So here's the question. If the people who built this nation can't afford to rest, if retirement itself has become another job, then what happened to the America that was supposed to take care of its own?
Trump's latest executive order should scare everybody. His new executive order makes it legal to be institutionalized if you are determined to be mentally ill. And unsurprisingly, that is such a broad term that could apply to just about everyone. Remember how just recently there was a bill put forth to validate Trump derangement syndrome? Unsurprisingly, queer and trans people should be concerned because this administration has made it abundantly clear that they feel that trans people are mentally ill. So under this new executive order, if trans people are determined to be mentally ill, they can be forcibly institutionalized. And this is what we warned everybody about by reading Project 2025. We knew this was coming, and now it's here.
Talking to that 62-year
My name is Carla Zimmerman. I just retired in June from 25 years of teaching.
My name is Bartley Armitage. I've been in Eugene, Oregon for most of 45 years. I was a union carpenter for over 30 years and still a member of the Carpenters Union.
Our current premium is $443 a month.
Through the ACA.
Through the ACA, and which is manageable for us, both retirees. However, it's going up to $2,224 a month. We are kind of in shock. That's without the subsidy. With the subsidy, it's manageable for us. We still live paycheck to paycheck, but it's manageable. The Affordable Care Act, we sort of counted on that in the interim period as retirees to sustain our health care. Without the subsidy, we honestly don't know what we're going to do.
Without the subsidy and with that kind of increase, it's like buying another house and trying to pay for two houses at the same time. Yeah, so we don't know what we're going to do exactly. We don't know how we're going to have some health insurance and be able to afford it on a monthly basis.
The thing that gets me the most is that both of us have worked our whole lives. I always had faith that our government would, when we retired.
The government, that our leaders would have a heart and try to find a way to help everyday Americans.
What I would say is this government should be about we the people, not about some.
Hello everyone, it's Anthony. What a nice morning. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's really amazing having you here, my viewers, my subscribers, and always ensure that you comment. So recently, I have been receiving many hateful comments from MAGA Republicans. Not all Republicans, some Republicans that we have been engaging in meaningful conversation, right? But some MAGA Republicans have been very abusive towards me, and that means we are doing something good. So let's continue watching, and don't forget to leave a comment so that we can engage. So let's continue viewing.
I don't know why no one's talking about this, but there is a mass exodus of U.S. citizens from the United States. Look, I'm a real estate agent in Costa Rica. I help foreigners move abroad, move to Costa Rica, and make a life here. I've been getting a ton of stories from clients who are absolutely spent. I'm working with a psychiatrist who helps teenagers. And when I asked her why she wants to move to Costa Rica, she said, it's because I have lost all hope. My patients have lost hope. And what's worse is I have lost hope too. And how can I possibly be of service to someone else if I don't believe it's not going to get any better? So what she's doing is saving herself, packing up her bags, and moving abroad. This is where we are.
Well, we're here. Are you listening, MAGA? This is for you as well. We're here. We're in a big brother dystopia. Officially, the Trump administration just signed the contracts to use technology to track you and track me with facial recognition, iris recognition. And it's software that can also access our iPhones, our smartphones, and track our locations. And it's also software that plugs into our social media to monitor what we're doing, what we're saying, and also track our locations. And right now, the Trump administration is using the excuse that they're going after Antifa, meaning protesters out protesting ICE. But make no mistake, MAGA, this is all of us. This is tracking you one day. This is tracking you one day. This is so invasive and in violation of our rights. I can't even see straight. I don't care if you're out protesting ICE or not. Every single American should be afraid. And the cost is north of $1.4 billion a month of your tax dollars and my tax dollars to go track where some person wearing a frog costume is located, to see who's standing next to them by reading their irises, facial recognition, by accessing their tracking devices on their smartphones and through their social media. I have not dug in deep enough to see if our favorite plantier, Peter Thiel's company, is behind this. The Pandora's box has been opened and it cannot be closed.
There were three breaking stories this week on Baron Trump. One, it looks like he's going to get a very high-paid job at TikTok. Two, he's being investigated for insider trading on cryptocurrencies. And three, he caused chaos at Trump Tower when he closed a whole fourth floor so that he could have a private meeting with his new boyfriend, Carlos. Let's look at those three stories in a bit more detail. 1. Donald has negotiated, or is negotiating, a deal with the Chinese on TikTok. The sweetener for the Trumps is that Barron gets a big job, a big paid job Classic Trumpism, this. The second one, well, Barron had inside information and knowledge on the pricing of cryptos, buying and selling, clearly illegal trading. They're investigating him. But the most interesting story was the third one, Carlos, the Argentinian ballroom dancer who's now dating Barron. Well, I don't think the father knew anything about this. So Donald closed not just the floor that Barron was on, but 3 floors above and 3 floors below.
This picture symbolizes everything you need to know about the U.S. in 2025. The complete and utter destruction of everything we hold dear. Here's what remains of the East Wing of the White House. It's rubble. It's gone. So much for him saying it's not going to touch the existing structure. When has he ever told the truth about anything? Well, except maybe the fact that he's not getting into heaven. But this just sums up the U.S. perfectly. And I don't know if there is a way to come back from this. I really do not know. And I know that sounds bleak, and I know that sounds defeatist, and you can talk about general strikes, and you can talk about boycotts and all the things, but the fabric and foundation of this country is being completely destroyed. And quite frankly, if I'm being honest, do we even want to rebuild it to what it was? I'm not sure that we do. I'm really not sure that we should.
The problem with this Trump administration is so messed up that you can't keep track of what is going on, you know. For example, they are aiming towards increasing the retirement age, right? What happened to the American dream? What happened to the American dream? If at 65, you can't afford to live without working, what happened to the American dream?
The problem that we are seeing right now is that our current president and his administration is explicitly saying that we want to change the rules of the game midstream in order to insulate ourselves from the people's judgment. They want to change around the maps, not the way it's always been done every 10 years after a census. They want to do it before any election in which they're worried they might lose. They want to tinker around with it to see if they can give themselves an advantage. And it's brazen. They're not pretending that there's some other rationale to it. They're simply doing it because they think they can. And in those circumstances, I could not be more appreciative of the work that Governor Newsom and the people of California are doing in saying, stop. This is not how American democracy is supposed to operate. And that's what Prop 50 is about. And it has critical implications, not just for California, but for the entire country.
President Trump has spent way too much time talking to foreign leaders and not enough time talking to our very own farmers. Because he is selling out our farmers, and I don't even think he realizes it.
You have to say to U.S. farmers who feel that the deal is benefiting Argentina more than it is them, as they are
Argentina's fighting for its life, young lady. You don't know anything about it. They're fighting for their life. Nothing's benefiting Argentina. They're fighting for their life. You understand what that means? They have no money, they have no anything. They're fighting so hard to survive. If I can help them survive in a free world, I happen to like the president of Argentina. I think he's trying to do the best he can, but don't make it sound like they're doing great. They are dying.
So apparently we're going to buy beef from Argentina, which is going to undercut our farmers who are already struggling. President Trump says it's because Argentina is broke and that they are dying. Well, the United States is broke, almost $38 trillion in debt to be specific. This is what our farmers are dealing with. Blue line is the number of farms we have each year, and every single year, family farms are closing down. The corporate farms keep buying up all the land and consolidating. Average age of a farmer is 58 years old, and there's not enough new farmers coming in. So what are we going to do when all of these farmers retire? It's really no secret why people don't want to become farmers, because investors like our very own vice president keep buying up all the farmland. There's one company alone that JD Vance invests in that is buying up all the farmland, which increases the price. So now families can't compete with the big investors. And 84% of farm households earned at least half their total income from off-farm sources, meaning that farmers have second and even third jobs to support themselves. They are making nothing off their farming business. That's because of the mass consolidation of the meatpacking industry. 4 big companies process 85% of the beef in the United States, and 2 of these are foreign. And this is the crazy thing. As the prices of beef have increased at the store, farmers are actually making less money because of these 4 meat packers who are shorting our farmers but increasing prices at the store. How did these 4 companies get all this power in the first place? Well, there's 2 reasons. Number 1 is overregulation, where small packers literally can't afford to jump through all of the hoops the USDA has put in place. Number 2, predatory prices. So these corporate packers came in, had super low prices at first, put everyone else out of business, and then when there was no one left, they spiked their prices. Meanwhile, Speaker Johnson has kept the House in recess for weeks, saying that, oh, we did our job, we passed the CR bill, forgetting that the House has a lot more responsibilities than just passing a CR once a year. Like right now, we need to pass the Prime Act, which would allow farmers to go to any state-approved packer and not just one of the big 4. And we need a bill to enforce country of origin labeling. Right now, if you go to the store and you see a meat package that says made in America, it doesn't actually mean that it was made in America. Cows could be born, raised, and blank outside the United States, but still have the made in the USA sticker. We deserve to know if our meat is coming from Argentina or an American farmer. This is what we need to do. We have 2 senators and we have 1 House of Representative. I always have it on my website so you can find them very easily. Reach out to them. You can either call their office or fill out a form on their website and ask for the Prime Act and for country of origin labeling. You should also learn how to grow your own food. I have to be honest, it's really disappointing that President Trump is saying Argentina is dying, because what is happening to our very own farmers? Farmer blank rates are 2 to 5 times higher than the national average. This is devastating. When you look at everything that they are up against, it's really no secret why. That's why President Trump needs to take a break from talking with foreign leaders all the time and talk to our very own farmers. And when he does that, I am sure he will see the dire situation we are in our country today.
Thank you for everyone who has watched this video to the end. My name is Anthony, and as usual, I make this clip and I make analysis. Then my subscribers, they comment, and we engage in these political discussions. So if you are new to this channel, ensure that you comment, right? So in the first clips, it's about these old fellas who thought they were retiring and then they were recalled. Why? Not companies, no one was recalling them. The problems chased them away from their homes. Instead of retiring and enjoying their lives at a later age, you know, they had to work because many essentials you can't afford without working. So the Republicans who shield for billionaires usually tell us to work hard. You know, if you work hard, and because in USA we usually appreciate individualism, right? If you excel in something, it means that you are good to go, right? But it's not the case nowadays. You know, what makes the Western civilization, or let me narrow it to our country, a great country, is because maybe even if you're working at a KFC or maybe anywhere, you are always proud of your work and you are determined to do it excellently. Now, what happens if the work can't pay your bills, if the work can't buy you a house, if the work can't fuel your car? You know, the motivation to do that work ends, right? So we have many workers in this country, or many people in this country, who aren't happy with their work and they are forced to do 2, 3 jobs, you know. So it's very hard having our seniors working, you know. It's like it closes some openings for the younger generation who are coming out of colleges, who are coming out of their families to gain these employments. The other clip was about United States. citizens moving out of the country. You know, they're claiming maybe high cost of living. You know, incoming dictatorships. You know, so it's really mind-boggling what's happening in United States at the moment. And you saw even the other clip of Barack Obama bringing about this issue of gerrymandering, an issue I covered in some 2 videos. I covered that issue greatly about how the minority voice in these Republican states has been diminished. You know, the minority voice. They don't have a voice when it comes to the national elections. So these are very great clips I've done. And the other clip was about the ballroom and this lady claiming that Trump is engaging with world leaders. Trump is the president of peace. Trump is traveling all over the world, you know, making these deals, but he ain't making deals with our American farmers who are crying every day on national televisions, on these town halls, claiming that their soybeans, their corn, whatever, name them, ain't get the market, you know. So we are in a bad situation as a country. Uh, we are bad situation as a country, and I don't know. Let's wait for the midterms, when we can make real change.